Woo, good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz, LoveTalk. As I said in the first hour, I am entertaining the lovely, beautiful, talented Miss Cherise, Miss Cherise Coaches, who is a Chicago-born, Los Angeles-based actress, recording artist, songwriter, vocal arranger, producer, and voice coach. She has appeared on Broadway in the musical Waitress. That's the Sarah Bareilles production.
Yes.
Huge. I'm such a fan, such a fan.
Me too.
And she's going to be in the Westport Country Playhouse production of First Lady of Song. Cherise Coaches sings Ella Fitzgerald, which is running right now, October 27th through November 5th. So what's a nice girl like you doing in the Ella Fitzgerald production?
Well, it just came from a call. That's how I got here. It came through a company that I've been working with for years, the Artist Lounge Live. Shout out to Angela. And finally it was my chance to do my own show. So
oh, I love it. Now, did you know the music of Ella Fitzgerald? Because I would imagine this would be like your grandmother's music.
Yeah.
Or your great-grandmother's music.
Right. Well, I did know a lot of it. Like I knew a great deal of standards because when I was studying jazz in school, when I would learn standards, she would kind of be like the person I defer to. So any standards that were like the more mainstream standards, I knew. But there were definitely some deep cuts where I'm like, okay, I gotta learn that. I've never even heard that before.
Yeah. now, do you consider yourself a person that an actor that loves musical theater, or does it matter if it's a musical that you go out for?
It doesn't matter to me if it's a musical that I go out for or whether it's a straight play, but because I got into acting so late in my life I began my life in the music industry, the crossover to doing musical theater was just, it was natural. So that's how I even got into acting. It was musical theater. But I like to act and I like to sing. So,
So this gives you both the best of both worlds, I would imagine.
Right.
And Ella Fitzgerald is iconic, right? Like if you say Ella Fitzgerald, I mean Snoop Dogg even knows who Ella Fitzgerald is.
Everybody knows who Ella Fitzgerald is. You should know who she is. If you don't, I'm sorry for you.
So how long is this show? Tell me about the length of the show and who picked the music. Did you get to pick the music? Because she's got a ridiculously big songbook.
Right. Well, the show is about 90 minutes long. It has an intermission, so it's 2 acts. I didn't originally pick the set list. So the show was being done by a friend of mine. Her name is Alexis J. Roston, and she was just so booked, like she's booked far into the next year. And when the opportunity for the show to go up came up, she wasn't available. So they asked me to do it. So the show already like kind of existed and had like a set, and it kind of had like a bit of a story, but the story had to be rewritten to coincide with my life. So the songs existed, but some of the songs we changed so that it could coincide with my life better, like songs that were specific to, me coming into the knowledge of Ella, things that were just songs I just really loved. And I'm just like, can we just please do this one and maybe take that one out? But for the most part, we just kept the integrity of the set list.
So tell me the setting. Give us a setup or a sense of like, how is this production going? Like, are we seeing a part of her life? Tell us what the story is.
Well, I am not her. I am singing the music of hers. So what it
Okay.
is it's concert style. But you
Oh,
will see like there are different little tributes of her, like the way the band is set up, like there's a chandelier over the piano, so it's very much like you're at like kind of an intimate club but you're in a theater. I my costumes, especially in act one, are centered around like the times of the 40s and 50s. And I have a few wardrobe changes. And it's just very, very intimate. It's intimate, but it's in a theater, so it's me. I'm not playing her, but I'm telling the story about her life and how it coincides with mine and how she's inspired me and how I've become become a descendant of hers.
oh, I love it. I love it. So
Mhm.
was this exciting to work on? And tell me some of the parallels of your life. Like tell me some of the things that have inspired you by her.
Well, it was very exciting to work on. It was incredibly nerve-wracking as well because this is like there's a lot of monologues and there's a lot of music. So with it being just me up there, there's nobody to feed off of for real. It's just me. So this is the first time I've done anything like that, but I was up for the challenge. So yeah, it was fun to work on. Now, as far as parallels with her life and mine, there are many. She was a band leader of an all-male band. I am the band leader of an all-male band. She was one of the boys growing up, as was I, a tomboy. I grew up with brothers, so I had to wear their hand-me-downs, and I had to watch what they wanted to watch. If they want to watch He-Man, we watching He-Man. Like if you want to watch Power Rangers, we watching Power Rangers. Like that's just what it was. Dragon Ball Z is Dragon Ball Z. I was outnumbered, so there's that. And the aspect of her being a foodie as well, which was something that I found out from my director, is that she was a foodie, and I am a. If I wasn't an entertainer, I'd be a chef. I'm a huge foodie.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you got to learn more about her. I mean, you had some passing knowledge of her, but did you get to
Mhm.
get in depth with, did they give you a sense of what some of her favorite songs to sing?
They didn't give me a sense of her favorites. And I don't think there's any way for us to know that because of the way she delivers all of her songs. Like she
Mm.
delivers them all at the same level. It's how could you ever know?
That's sort of like Aretha Franklin. Like you can't really tell unless she told you,
Yeah.
oh, I really love this song. You have no way of knowing because
Yeah.
every song was sang the way as if it was her absolute favorite. I thought so.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a thing with artists in general though. Like we have songs that we get really, really tired of, but there is a responsibility to your audience, to your fan base who loves these songs, that it's like, you know, it's kind of ungrateful to show up and give a lackluster performance of a song that you wrote and that you've been graced to deliver to the world, and you don't, because you don't want to sing it, you give a lackluster performance. Like there's always
Mm.
somebody who hasn't heard it, so you just want to give it 100% every time. And I think that's what these ladies used to do, definitely, because I'm sure they got tired of I'm sure Aretha got tired of Respect. I have songs out and I've literally not lived even half of their lives, and I'll be like, I'm so sick of singing this.
So
Sick of it.
tell me how did you come to music? Were you did you know at 5 that you were a singer? Like when did you know, and how did you get to nurture it through, did you go to a performing high school or college? Like tell me your story a little bit.
So, I grew up in a musical family. I was born into a musical family. My mom is a former band director. All my siblings can play instruments. We can all sing, whether they do or not. But we can all sing. Like if I ever wanted to have a choir or have a group, I can do it within my siblings. But they just aren't interested in that. The only one who actually still does music is my older brother, Tony Treble. He's a producer and a musician. Oh, and my little sister, she's in school for music to be a music teacher. But I was born into that, and I knew as a kid that I was a singer. Like just immediately, I was singing in church from like the age of 3. My very first song I ever sung in church was "Tomorrow" by the Winans. Um, And then I think what
That's a
really,
lot of song for a little kid.
oh, it is. Oh, I was the resident Yolanda Adams at my storefront. Trust me. I was that girl. But yeah, I used to take on big songs like that. Like I loved ballads, and so naturally when I was introduced to Whitney Houston and saw The Bodyguard, that changed everything for me. That changed it all. Even though I was not allowed to listen to secular music when I was younger, that I was like, yeah, I know I want to do this. I know for sure.
So did you do talent shows when you were in high school? Like, because it sounds
Mhm.
like you had a very religious background. So
I did. My mom started to loosen up when I got into like my preteen, teenage era. Like she really started loosening up. Um, she would let me have like clean music. So like I would listen to NSYNC and stuff like that. Like I was allowed to listen to that, and and then I kind of veered off into like Usher and just all these different things. Like of course Destiny Child. Like I listened to all that type of stuff, but sometimes I would be sneaking. She just didn't want to hear nothing that wasn't clean,
oh, I
basically.
understand. I listen. I still don't want to hear nothing that's not too clean. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
and I'm
but
old.
but my younger siblings came along, and she didn't have as much time to worry about what I was doing. The older ones, you got two younger kids, so it's like, all right, I gotta worry about them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you knew at an early age that this would be your career choice, but when did you step into it fully? Like, okay, I'm gonna be steadfast in this.
Well, I have been professionally singing, making money as a singer since I was 11. But
Really?
yes, I used to travel with my pastor and make money, and just different little things. Like they were very sporadic things, but as far as like operating like a professional, since I was 11, my mom didn't treat me like I was a kid. My mom treated me like, okay, this is what you say you want to do. You need to show up. You need to look this way. You need to, you need to be on time, blah, 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 blah. Like it was very that. So I've always had that rearing, always had that foundation. Um, but as far as when I got really steadfast about doing music was when I was like about 17, I joined a community choir called Joshua's Troop, led by
Mhm.
Percy Gray. And I became like a lead singer in that choir. And by me being around the city and going around the city, I was exposed to a lot more people, and people started to go, "Who is this girl? And who is that?" And I'm a very, very high soprano. I'm a soprano one. And in gospel music, that's all the rage. so so I started singing background for different artists and stuff. And then I really discovered that I didn't want to do gospel. So I started doing R&B, and back then neo soul. So I would sneak into the club. My best friend Mark and I, we would leave out of Joshua's troop rehearsal while Joshua's troop rehearsal was going on a Monday night, and we would go change our clothes and drive down to the club. We were underage, and we would pay to get in and beg them to put us up. Please, please, please let us sing. And that's when it started for me, 17, 18.
Now, did your mama know this?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was lying. Thank God my life got spared, because I could have just so many times just been out of here. But God knew. God knew I just wanted to sing.
So do you still sing a little gospel music? I mean, I'm sure churches still ask you.
Oh yeah, churches still ask me, but for the most part, I'm often too like kind of busy for it.
Mhm.
But here and there, yeah, I'll pop up here and there.
So now, where do you live, Cherise? Where do you call home?
Well, I live in LA right now. I just moved to LA about 3 months ago. So I'm there right
Now, do
now.
you love it?
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's exactly what I've needed. It's so refreshing to, first of all, not have to deal with the winter, because Chicago, it's
Oh,
snowing right
girl,
now.
I'm in
Um,
Connecticut. I feel you. I know it's snowing right now in Chicago. Oh,
yes, it's snowing right now. Like there's inches of snow, and you know that was enough for me. So LA is great to be around like-minded people. To I started to I had started to feel like I was becoming a big fish in a small pond in Chicago. So
Mm.
I went to LA so that I could swim with the sharks.
Okay, because there's a couple of places in the country that are known for cultivating talent and upcoming talent. I mean,
Yeah.
you're already there, but L.A., Nashville,
Hmm.
I think Austin, New York, of course, and Atlanta.
Hmm.
I mean, I think you could have chose any of those places. What was it about LA that sort of beyond the weather, which is enough for me?
I do have a lot of I when I do things, I'm mostly in LA anyway.
Okay.
Um, but I have a lot of community out there. I have a lot of community in LA. So it was like this is a natural choice. But I've always wanted to live somewhere other than Chicago. I didn't know where that would be in particular, but LA was just the best place for me.
Mm. So you've got a couple of shows under your belt at the Westport Country Playhouse because the show opened on the 27th. So you've
Mm.
had a couple of nights. How's it been? What's it like? How do you like it?
I'm having a blast. I'm just up there having fun. I'm just being myself. I'm telling Ella's story the best way I know how. And the audiences seem to really be enjoying it. Yeah, we've had some great audiences. Last night, Eartha Kitt's daughter was in the audience, so that was like unbeknownst to me. And then I looked at my Instagram later, and she was like,
I saw
great show. Yeah, I'm like, how random. Didn't know Eartha Kitt's daughter lived in Westport.
you. Well, lots of people live in Westport. Shonda Rhimes and all kinds of people live in Westport, Connecticut. So
Yeah,
so you'd be surprised how many people probably are sitting in that audience who were like, "Oh, I love her." So
I had
you
no clue.
okay, so do you like, because this is a short run, do you like a short run performance? I mean, this is not weeks and weeks and weeks.
I don't. Let me see how to answer this. In this particular case, I am not ready for it to be over Sunday. I'm not.
Oh, that's
Because
sweet.
I love this show. Yes, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy all of it. But normally, I am the type of person where I'm like, all right, what's next? So, and that, yeah, I think that I would love like another 2 weeks here at least, you
Mm-hmm,
know.
mm-hmm. And so are you paying attention to the audience? Like, are there young people in the audience? Are they people of a certain age in the audience? Because this music is, I would imagine a lot of older people would gravitate toward this music because this is probably the music of their youth. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I would go to an Earth, Wind and Fire concert before I would go to God knows whoever's out there right now, because Earth, Wind and Fire is of my youth.
Right.
So
Yeah, no, there are some young people in the audience. Like there are people like along my age, maybe like in their 40s, but it is mostly older people. And I take that very seriously because when I am of a certain age, I do not want these kids messing up my music. I would die if I hear somebody misdeliver Dangerously in Love. I don't want to hear that. So I'm doing my best to keep the integrity of the music and making sure I'm, singing what they remember for the most part.
so you're a songwriter too.
Hmm.
Talk about that process, because there are a lot of people who are not songwriters and can sing a great song. Like Whitney Houston was not a songwriter, but
Hmm.
she could sing a damn song like nobody's business.
Oh
But there
yeah.
are folks out there like Beyonce is a songwriter.
Hmm.
A bunch of them are songwriters. So talk to me about that. Sarah Bareilles is a songwriter and a performer. Talk to
Yeah,
me
and the
about that
best.
process and what's it like. And Cherise, do you write a song and think, I know who could sing this song? Even though you're a singer, you're like, I don't know if this is a song for me, but I
Hmm.
know somebody who could sing this song.
Yeah, that happens. It definitely happens. Well, I started with poetry as a kid. I didn't really know. I was just having feelings and feeling away. So I was just writing how I felt. And then it developed into like putting things to melody and stuff. So now my process is mostly I'm mostly writing for myself, But
Mhm.
sometimes I'll have like a producer who will call me in and be like, this is a placement. They're looking for stuff for such and such as album, write me something, whatever. And so it kind of more so works like I'm kind of work for hire at this point. Um, they'll send me like they'll send me a track and I'll just write to it, send some dummy vocals, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna do a real demo of this, and we'll submit it. So that's mostly how it goes for me at this point.
Is it exciting? I mean, are you still excited when you get a track and they say, "Work your magic on this"?
I'm excited to write every time, because sometimes, especially like in the last couple years, I've suffered from writer's block really badly. Like I used to be able to crank out a song, 2, 3 songs a day. And it just hasn't been like that post pandemic for me. I, kind of discovered how burnt out I was and how,
Mm-hmm.
in survival mode I was. So it hasn't been like that as much, but all of the songs that I've written, I'm very proud of all the songs I've written post pandemic.
Mm.
So yeah.
So who do you listen to for inspiration, Cherise? Like who do you have? If I looked at your playlist, who's in it?
Well,
Who's on it?
it depends on what I'm listening for. If I'm just listening to music to just listen to music, um, of course Beyonce, that's my girl. Um, when it comes to like people of the day, I'm gonna be it's Usher, it's there's a new artist who's a homie of mine named Kenyon Dixon. I love his music. And I listen to a lot of my friends too, like Isaac Ray and Adam Ness. Like I listen to their music a lot because outside of support, they just make really good music. So
Mm.
those are some people I listen to when it comes to like oldies though. Aretha, you'll find her in there. Roberta Flack, Donnie, Stevie, like,
Oh,
I'm
you do
I'm
know
all over.
your music.
Oh yeah, I'm all over the map with music. Like I love everything except death metal.
Yeah, I might be with you. I might be able to get through one song if it's banging just right, but
Yeah, it's not
yeah,
given for me.
it's not. I
No.
love it. So have you seen a bunch of Broadway musicals? Have you seen some shows? Do you have time to go see shows?
Yeah, I've seen a few. I saw the original Broadway cast of Hamilton. I saw the
What
revival
did you think
cast.
of that? Did you
Oh,
did
it's
you
one of the best things
did you
I've ever
love
seen.
it?
I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it. I've seen that. I've seen what else have I seen? The revival cast, the revival Broadway cast of The Color Purple, which is my favorite musical and my favorite book and movie.
Are you going to
So
see the new version when it hits?
oh, absolutely,
Because that's a
absolutely.
musical, right? That's a
They're doing the
musical.
actual musical adaptation and not the movie version.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that, and I had a friend in the cast, so definitely saw that. I've seen Tina, I've seen Lion King, I've seen obviously I saw Waitress actually on tour before I ever went in for it. I saw it because I had people that I knew in the show when it came to Chicago. And I saw it and I went, I could do this
Why am
show.
I not in this show?
I just was looking. I'm like, oh, it's not that much dancing because I'm not like a super duper strong dancer. I'm like a strong mover. So I was like, oh, it's not that much. I could do this show. Forgot about it, never thought about it again, but except for I listened to the music. So I was obsessed with the cast album for like 2 months. And then I didn't really think about it. And then I got submitted for it and I put it on tape and fast forward, I was in the show. But yeah, I've seen a lot of shows though. I've seen quite a few.
And do you have any favorites?
The Color Purple is one of my favorites. Hamilton was one of my favorites. Um, I enjoyed I enjoyed Tina because I enjoyed my friend who was playing her at the time. Kayla Davion and my friend Jardin was also in it. So I really enjoyed the show. I love to see my friends shine, but I was just very inspired when I saw it. But yeah, I'm all across the board.
All right, so you got a few more days singing Ella Fitzgerald music and talking about it and being on stage in an intimate big theater, which I love.
Mhm.
I am excited to hear how you feel about the clothing, because you said you start the first set with some outfits from the 30s and 40s, or the 40s and
Mhm.
50s.
Yeah. Um, well, I like to call myself a fashion girl. Like I'm a fashion girly for sure. Um, and so I wanted to make sure that because this show is not me being her, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to have the essence of her and take everybody on a journey and finally end up at me. So like the first two looks are very like classic, from that time. And then when we start act two, it's still glam, but it's starting to become a little bit more current. And by the
Mm-hmm.
time we get to the last outfit, I'm completely me.
Okay. And
Hmm.
that's a wonderful transformation, so people can transition from solely thinking about Ella and that music to sort of see you as yourself singing this music.
Hmm.
Is that
Even
the
vocally,
idea?
I make more of my own choices as we like. I make myself earn the fact that I get to wear something that is me, and I also make the audience earn it because I'm very like to the letter pretty much with the singing in Act One. Like I need to build that trust with the audience, that
Oh,
rapport.
you want them to know I can sing these Ella songs. I'm not going to make it sound like a rap song or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I'm going to sing this song the way Ella it's meant for it to be
Yeah, because
sung.
I think that sometimes, the older generation can have a preconceived notion. It's like, what this little girl finna do, So I want to make sure that I build a trust and a rapport with them and make them feel safe. Like, oh, she knows her stuff,
Well,
and
I'm not. I'm like
then,
that, Cherise. I understand that because I didn't even really like Aretha in the later part of her life singing her song, because I
yeah.
just I was like, Aretha, I don't even want you messing with your songs. I'm a purist like that, but when
Hmm.
I hear somebody take a song and really just give it to us, I mean, you can't be mad about that. Like you
You
just
can't
can't.
be mad about it, but it's just like if you've been listening to a record the same way for so long, it's like you really don't want to hear a person mess it up, especially
Yeah.
not so early in the show. So some of those songs that are just like I Got Rhythm, I start the show with I Got Rhythm and like Misty and It Don't Mean a Thing. I'm pretty down to the letter with those songs because
Mhm.
I want you to know I can do it, but later I'm going to make choices to not do it so that you can see how she's influenced my choices.
So it's 90 minutes of you having a good time.
Having a ball.
And so, who's on stage with you? Just you and a piano, you and a band, you and a.
No, it's a four-piece band. My music director William Kirk is on piano. The bass player, upright bass player, is Rainier Brooks. The drummer is Ryan Bennett, and on flute and saxophone is Jay Flatt.
Okay. And so, have you worked with these folks before, or did you meet them just for this production?
I had worked with two of them before. One of them, the saxophone player, I found out we went to high school in the same district because when I had never met him before. So when he got here and we all arrived at the airport, I was going, "You look so familiar to me." So come to find out, it was that we went to high school in the same district, and he was in band as well. So we crossed paths a lot, and he also lives in LA. The drummer, I met him during pre-production for the show, so, but he wasn't playing drums. He was doing like behind the camera work. So, yeah, the only people I had worked with was the piano player. I always work with William Kirk. He is like the main person who is the go-to in Artist Lounge Live. And then the bass player, I grew up with him. I've known him
Okay.
since I was a kid. So,
Okay. This music community seems tight.
yeah,
Like.
it is. It is. It's big, but it's small.
Mhm. So what do you do after this? So November 5th it closes. You take your last bows. You pack your bags. You get on a plane. Where are you going? What are you doing?
I'm going to LA. I got a few days to chill out, and then I start a run, a very short run of the Stevie Wonder show that is in a part of Artist Lounge Live. They have like a short 5 or 6 shows in Laguna Beach, so that's the next thing I'm doing.
Okay. And so you'll be in your neck of the woods, so the weather will be nice because It's a little
Thank God.
cold in Connecticut right now.
Yes,
It just got cold though. It just got cold. Just got cold.
I had to dive through my suitcases. I'm like, where are my tights?
Well, I'm so glad that you got to come to Westport. I'm so sorry I'm going to miss this show because I'm leaving on retreat today and I won't be back. But I jumped at the chance to talk to you because I mean you're such a young woman and Ella Fitzgerald is so iconic. And I was like, let me talk to her and see what she's talking about this Ella Fitzgerald stuff. I want to know, because I'm a huge fan of these young sisters coming up, like Samara Joy, and there's a bunch of other folks, and I'm a huge fan of her. I've seen her on Martha's Vineyard. I saw her at the Cotton Club, not the Cotton Club, where somewhere in New York. I saw her, and she was amazing. And I thought, and she's young. So, y'all are young women singing these songs by these iconic folks and doing a great job.
Yeah, well, we aim to please.
Now, would you do another show like this? Would you take on another iconic singer's role like this or interpretation?
Oh, absolutely, because I feel like this is the hardest one I could have possibly done. So, at this point, I was like, I'm ready for anything. If I can do Ella and it can be received well and people enjoy themselves, I know I can do anybody at this point. Like, at least, not being them, but singing their music, I can do it.
Now, do you put out your own music? Do you have an EP or a CD or a record? Like what do you do? Do you put out your own music?
I do. I have my own music. It's all on all streaming platforms. You can just type in Cherise Coaches and everything will pop up.
Oh, I'm going to Spotify. I'm gonna go listen to you today.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
I got lots of music out.
Okay, so what would you say your style is? Like what would I hear?
I like to call myself kind of I like to call it pop and B. So, because it's not.
I like that.
Yeah, like it's not pure pop and it's not pure R&B. It's like a mix between the two. So I like music that's like it's soulful. Because I have a soulful voice and like a powerful voice, but I also have sweetness to my voice. So you kind of get like the dichotomy, in my music. So yeah, I like to call it pop and B.
I think you're coining a new thing. That sounds fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for your time, Cherise. I so appreciated talking to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. This was great.
And I wish you every success. I'm gonna go to Spotify. I'm gonna listen to you. And then, are you on Instagram? I know you're on the Instagram or somewhere. I am. I know it. So I'll find. Is it under your name, or do you call yourself something else?
Cherise Coaches.
Okay, I'm gonna go find you because I love new artists and I love seeing young people do their thing. So, so thank you for your time this morning. And knock them dead, break a leg, have a good time on stage the next few days.
Thank you so much.
All right, say hi to everybody at the Westport Country Playhouse for me.
I will let them know I saw you.
All right, my girl. Thank you so much.
All right, have a great day.
All right, have a great day. So if y'all need tickets, go to the Westport Country Playhouse website. Tickets are still on sale. I don't think they're sold out just yet, but they're pretty damn close. So if you want to catch the music of Ella Fitzgerald sung by this talented young sister, I would suggest you go to their website and get the daggone tickets because you will not be disappointed. And I'm going to go on to Spotify and listen to her right now. So I will see y'all on Monday. I'll be back on Monday. Monday, I got the whole Hampden, whoever's running for office in Hampden, they're going to be on the show on Monday. Karima Meckens, who is the town clerk, I believe the mayor, a couple of other folks who are running. So we're going to have a whole Hampden powwow on Monday. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, have a good weekend. Be safe. Bye, Harry. I know it's snowing in Waterbury.
Love.